Please make sure you signed in.
I was going to say, you more forward than me. Actually, in the car. I mean, I was like, this is what I was like, this is what I love. And I remember them always compare. They don't follow the light. They call, they were asking. So it doesn't mean.
Is it 2:30 already? Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to get started. Welcome to the Department of Procurement Services e-procurement overview. And my name is Lucy. I am one of the project coordinators on this project. And welcome to our workshop. We're going to first kick it off with an overview of e-procurement. The city came up with this process to reduce the redundancy of paperwork. We want to go fully electronic. That is our goal, and we're slowly getting there. And as we move forward toward in this presentation, you'll see our steps in getting there. So, what is e-procurement? E-procurement is actually it's an enhancement to the city, our current procurement and financial system, and it applies electronic digital technology for the acquisition of goods and services. There is a portal which I will go live. I'll demonstrate live online for suppliers, vendors, and resources, and also where you can actually see bids, solicitations, and how to bid for those solicitations. You can respond to the bids online, RFPs, RFQs. You can actually view and track contracts, releases, receipts, payments, and invoices. And of course, it's going to be electronic submission of invoices. Our key objective is for the vendors, allowing vendors to download and respond to solicitations electronically. This way, you don't get books of paper, stacks of paper. Do it all electronically. For us, it's streamlining and creation and approval of contracts and amendments, modifications, extensions. Streamlining is cost effective, and we want to reduce the expense of paper. And also, we want to ensure all contracts and modifications are processed quickly, so there's not that long lag time. And of course, everything will be in accordance with all ordinances, laws, and regulations. So we do want to eliminate most paper-based processes. And actually, when we get these bids and solicitations, we want to reduce the physical routing of these documents from department to department. So this is where e-procurement kicks in. And also, we can actually, this is an electronic footprint, so there should not ever be a case where if somebody's requesting a document or to see it or FOIA something, there is an electronic footprint. This will also enable online process to capture and store vendor registration, communications, and solicitation contract processing. So it's very we're excited about this. This is Chicago's moving in the right direction. We're not the last city to go electronic. Believe me, we're not. So it's just a matter of time. We're going to be all contract types will be fully electronic. So iSupplier is the portal where you would register, and to do business with the city is that's where you go on to. And we'll review that in a moment. And as a vendor, an iSupplier portal, you can view and respond to bids, solicitations. You can view orders, like I said previously, payments and invoices, update your company information, and who can look at those bids for you. You could actually delegate responsibilities, like if you have a staff, that this person can only view, this person can only submit. So you could actually do that with when you update your company information. We are transitioning to the online bidding, and we do have a microsite that includes all this information, and I will show you that momentarily. And this is our site address here, eProcurement. And if you're an existing vendor, but you're delegate agencies, and so it'll be existing, and we'll do a Q&A at the end. So if anybody has any questions, just remember them, and we'll get through this. Existing vendors, you'll have to request an invitation. It's because how the system is set up. You're already existing, so you don't have a login, but we don't have to give you a vendor number. So you have to request it. And new vendors, if you never have done business with the City of Chicago, you would just go through the registration process. And what is needed when you apply is your FEIN number and a W-9. So we're going to go on to the eProcurement site. It's thinking. Wow. We had access too. Okay, we'll get back to that site post presentation. No, it was a live link. I hyperlinked it. Okay, so we'll go back to that site. Maybe it's going to go. It's a little bit delayed. Okay, so a lot of people have asked, a lot of vendors and who do business with us have asked about security. We are, the city takes security seriously, and we make sure everything's encrypted. So we use the same protocol as most banks, so that the communication is secure. That's guaranteed. And bids are not visible to employees or other vendors prior to bid opening, so your bid is secure. So there is, as mentioned earlier, there is a gradual phase-in with contract types. Currently, we started with commodities and small orders. There's a couple of them online, and if we can get online access, I'll show you those. There is also, our next step is RFPs and RFQs will be our next phase-in, which should be in a couple of months, by August. And then we're going to phase in work services, architectural engineering, construction, and task orders. We hope to get everything phased in, all contract types, by Q1 2018 is what I was told. So this is how our microsite looks. And I'm going to go back and see if I could try to access it. So it's very intuitive and user-friendly. So you have how to log in, register, to see, view current bids. There's training materials about the site. And then I'm sure many of you have signed up for DPS alerts. Have everybody signed up for DPS alerts? No? Okay, we'll review that because that's what you should do. First thing you should do. So this way you'll get alerted anything new that comes up to bid on, any solicitation, you'll get alert on that. And this is how the training of the portal looks like, online training materials. And this is once you are given the number to log in to the iSupplier, this is how your site will look. You'll have your home page. You can view orders and payments, and you can do your online bidding and respond to bids and RFPs. And this is currently the abstract on how the bids look when you go on electronic bids. And these are bid responses. This is after you respond to a bid. You would see your bid number here, and you can pull it up. You can change your response prior to close, so you could always update it. So here are RFQ lines. And here's where you can see your open orders. You can view purchase orders and releases. You can view paid receipts, payments even. But now I'm going to try to go online. Let's get this. Okay, here it is, online. Here we go. So today is June 15th. We are at this workshop. And here's the site that's available for everybody to view. It's not the prettiest one right now. So let's view login and register. So you just click on the icons. For some reason, this image is portraying the icons in one line, but it's across the top. So for login and registration, as mentioned earlier, if you're an existing vendor with the city and you have a vendor number, you would have to request an invitation. Pam?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
If you are a current vendor with the city of Chicago and you already have a vendor number, if you're a current vendor with the city of Chicago and you already have a vendor number, you have current contracts, or maybe you have had a contract in the past with the city, then you're already on file, so you would log in. You would click the log in. I'm sorry. I need you to request an invitation.
Right.
So we have I don't have anything with me, and I don't know if it's up here. I don't want to steer you wrong. We have a mailbox, www.cityofchicago.org/. EPROC support right here.
Here's the
EPROC
site.
support at cityofchicago.org. That mailbox, you'll send us a request for an invitation. What we do when we get that request is we first look to see if your business name should be in the body of your email. Then we'll look it up. If you have your vendor number, that would be so helpful, so we can just search for you by your vendor number. We locate your vendor number by you being an existing vendor, then we'll send you an invitation. That's the easiest way, right? If you're not currently a vendor with the city, you do not have any existing contracts, then you would have to be a new vendor registration. So those are some fields that you would have to fill out. If we find that you are not, by our search method, if we find that you're not an existing vendor with us, then we'll send you the link to register as well. So those are the two ways, by invitation or by request. By invitation is the easiest because you have an existing number, or we'll send you a link to register because you do not have an existing number.
And it's on the website. It's the second page. And it reviews the process here once again. Request iSupplier invitation. You click on that. It's going to prompt you to an email. And the new vendors, this is where the new vendors would register. And this is how it's going to look like for a new vendor. But, again, quite slow. And there is the email support box, as Pam mentioned. these icons are not showing up. So that would be on your home page. It would be log and register. You would get that information, and you have those links, those boxes you would click on. Existing vendor, new vendor. Just click on those and follow the instructions, and as Pam mentioned, they'll send you the password that you need. They'll send you the password to log in. To view current bids is another icon that you click on. And I do apologize. These icons actually sit on the home page on top of here, but for some reason, it's cached. Must be cached to the way it looked. Okay, so we still have a paper process in place. So we have electronic and paper. Currently, that's why we offer two. We are going to be taking paper probably for another year, and that's about it. So if you want to look at e-procurement bid and solicitation opportunities, it's going to prompt, let's see, hopefully it's going to open. Slowly getting there. You would click on the e-procurement bids and solicitation. Those are electronic. And for non-e-procurement, those are what's posted on the website, and those are paper. So, yeah, I'm going to do in a new tab. Just not working. Okay, here's this laptop. That one's working. It has a direct connect. This one is slow. Okay, so these are our current electronic e-procurement bid solicitations that are out. Streets and Sand had a commodities bid for interior exterior paints, as did Department of Health. So if we click on details, you can get more details about that bid. So what you want to do is click on details in the PDF file. And it tells you pre-solicitation conference, all the information right there. So, oh. That didn't open. Oh, there we go. So this is the PDF file for that electronic bid. This is what you would view, and this is what you would respond to. It has your T's and C's in there, your due dates, all your information. You can scroll down. All the information that you need to respond to. So no more paper. So the ones that are online, this is what you would look at. And there's a table of contents. We have all the information that's published to that abstract. So it tells you the solicitation number, tells you the title, the spec number. Okay. So then, if we go for just the non-e-procurement bids, it's what you see online today. And you would click on the solicitation document for whatever. And that's an open one. Yeah, that one. And that's your typical, almost the same thing. But those are not responded to electronically. Those are paper bids. And it's pretty self-explanatory on the site itself. You can maneuver through the site pretty easily. And it says for companies who are not registered in iSupplier and you want to download review a bid solicitation, we encourage you to register, because if you do want to bid, you have to be registered. For viewing or downloading the solicitation after logging into iSupplier, we'll add you to the specification takeout list. See, just viewing it without logging in does not register you as a bid document holder. Yeah, Tish.
So the opportunity takeout list, the old way we used to do it, we used to get business cards.
in, you're automatically on the list, you see your income.
Okay, now we're going back to through the site again. See, there's yours. We're going to use yours. This computer is just not cooperating today. So we go back to the home. And this is how your page will look like, not how mine look like. You have the icons there across. So we looked at home. We looked at login, registration, current bids and solicitation opportunities. We'll look at online training materials. So if you have a question on how to process anything, this is where you would find it. What they have is PDF documents, and they're in like PDF files, or there's videos, but the videos are very slow. So first I'm accessing iSupplier. Tish, you want to click on that one? This is how this is the PDF. This is the PDF. Yeah, we'll show you the video. And it gives you step-by-step instructions. So this should be your first review before emailing the support desk. Review this first before emailing the support team on this. Of course, it's clear if you do it. So this is how the video looks like. It's pretty much the same PDF, but it goes slower step by step by step. So it's up to you if you want. But here is all the information: how to submit registration, how to reply to registration invite, how to add new address, new contacts. Next one is solicitation bid information, view invoices, purchase history, purchase orders, receipts, returns, and the last one, of course, some review solicitation document, print solicitation documents, all that information. And then our last tab on top is help. And here's where you would go for help for if you're having still issues after reviewing the training material list, you would just click on that link and prompt you to an email eProc support. If you're having inquiries about payments or invoices, you click on that link and it'll take you to the finance. And if you have login system, you could click on that, Tish. Login. Yeah. If you forget your username and password, you could reset it yourself. And the last one is for accommodations, like if you have somebody with special needs that needs a screen reader or needs assistance, you would still eProc support on that. Now, going back to our on the site, we do have, you can access the iSupplier also from many areas of our websites. It has that icon that says iSupplier. It'll take you right into the portal. Yeah, Tish, you can click on that. I think that takes you right there. Mine's, see, it takes you right into it. And then if you could scroll down for a sec. I do apologize. I don't know what's going on with the connection here. See the DPS alerts? I do recommend that you all sign up for that if you have not already. And that is a pretty quick sign up, and you'll get all the information emailed to you on anything coming up that's going to be coming up for bid or any solicitation that's going to be published. You'll get the email directly to you without you having to review the site. So it makes it easier.
Excuse me, where do you see that on the screen, the GPS?
Right there, that button.
Okay.
Go ahead and click on that. And it's all throughout our department website, DPS alerts. It's all you have to do is fill that out and hit sign up. So, and then you'll be on a list. So it's fairly easy. And like I said, I do apologize for this computer acting up. And as far as payments, once you're registered and you have any contracts with the city, you'll be able to view payments on that as well as the PowerPoint showed, but I can't show it on this. Any questions? Yes.
Thank you. One with the DPS alerts, is there a way to filter out things that don't apply to what you do? Yeah, you get it all. cyber grants, there was an issue with multiple people accessing different POs.
We're going to talk. Latoya's going to take this one.
Okay.
Hello, testing. Is this mic on? So you will have that issue in the e-procurement system. But because you guys have one FIN number, that's going to be your primary agency identifier in the new iSupplier system.
Will we be able to have multiple people do different pieces?
I think
That's hard for us to answer. What we're finding, the system is designed for one company, right? With one FEIN number and one email address, right? So the initial individual who logs in can log in anyone else. Anybody else, they can log in. Or we've been able to do the same. If I talk to someone else from the same company using the same FEIN number and a different email address, we can add them as well. But what the problem that we're running into is Salvation Army, UIC, Catholic Charities, any hospital, any hospital. So, were you able to log on UIC yesterday? Right, because our system has we may have multiple supplier codes for Salvation Army, a site here, a site there, a site everywhere. Same FEIN number. You go to log in and it'll say Salvation Army. No site, no location, a differentiator, right? And the FEIN number is also tied to each and every one of them. You'll log in, but the next person will get an error message and says someone already has logged in with this user supplier. So we are trying to find a workaround for that, because these companies or these facilities, like Catholic Charities especially, I want to help them so bad. So now it's you, Salvation Army. We got UIC. What's your company? Who are you?
Salvation.
Right. And if you're in a different location, we're not going to be able to log you on.
So, in this respect, this differs from the current way that you go on to the city procurement services site, and like the three of us can look up something at the same time.
Yes, this differs from that. Yes, right.
So when we go out,
No,
us know.
no.
How do we fix
We're still we're still in the planning processes on how we're going to help this duplicity, because when these codes were generated and when this process, this is brand new, but when we start issuing now supplier codes, that system doesn't even exist anymore. Okay, I mean at all, and so. I mean, it's like nowhere can you get that information from. So now that's problematic for this system, because we can't change anything. You may have we might can find a way to work around that, but if you have an existing contract, I can't change your name. I can't add a 1 to it. There's nothing that I can do, because you need to get your payments from the city up under the supplier name that you're under contract with. So we can't do anything with it. So we're trying to find a workaround on how to get this multiplicity to be added to the iSupplier site, because everybody has an interest.
Just to remind everybody, you guys, everybody can view all the solicitations. You just can't bid on them if you have multiple sites. That's correct, right,
They
Pam?
can't get access to the iSupplier portal.
Right. Any questions? I could pass this. Okay.
Yeah, real quick, follow up on the previous question is that can you go in, for example, I have someone who is dealing with the payment stream, and then I have someone who is dealing with the contract compliance stream, right? So if I have my person who's viewing for payment support on no one else can be on doing anything else. Is that what I'm getting?
No.
And I think you might be referring to cyber grants. Are you referring to vouchering and cyber grants, or?
I'm referring to whatever method I can to find out if I got paid first. And then second, I'm referring to if at the same time someone somewhere else is looking for the status of a contract, can they be on this system at the same time?
Yes, they can, if we have you in there. As long as you have an account up under that supplier code, then you and you and you and you, each one of you can be on the system. That's not knocking you out. The only thing that, as long as you're in the same house, all your 3 different emails can access one system. But if each of you are in different houses, that's where the problem is coming. That's the problem. Right.
So we gotta wait till you all fix it.
Yes. Yes. And so now I'm curious. So see, it's like you're my test case. So let's talk offline. All right. And so any questions?
So we're from Rush, and we have the same situation. That's why we took our name tags off. But now we have to admit it. So I have an email from the City of Chicago Supplier Collaboration Network invitation to register.
Yes.
And it says my name or my email sent and an ID. So it says you can access the registration by clicking. So I clicked, but then it says a response has already been received for this invitation. Is this what we're talking about? So somebody else got that invite, maybe her. No, I'm just kidding. But somebody else from Rush has already, so now that's where we're stuck. So there's nothing more I can do until okay. Just so I'm not in the rears.
Right.
All right.
That's exactly.
Right. I mean, as long as we're all in the same boat.
Okay. Any other questions?
I'm gonna let you sing. We don't play loud.
We had the challenge when the person that does the billing originally registered, so she's the main registered person, and she wanted to add me on, and then she couldn't. There was some sort of a glitch that she couldn't add me on, so somebody from the department did help her out, and I did finally get registered. So just so you know that.
It's possible.
Happy story.
Happy story. Thank you for the happy story. We like those. Any other questions? Is that it?
So why do I guess, just to clarify, so are you guys knowing, since you already know who we are,
Going to send us out something to let us know when we can take those next steps? Or do we need to contact somebody?
No, it would be me.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was your name again? Thank you.
I have my business card.
Samantha. Okay, thank you. Okay.
And so then you can either shoot me an email, which is preferable, or you can call me. So I'll take down the name and number, look at your supplier code, see where you're at and what we can.
And all of our,
If we can't do anything, we'll let you know, because the problem with the hospitals, now this is the problem with it. Again, the system that originally generated the supplier code, so your Rush, let me try to say a hospital word. Now, endocrinology unit has their own vendor number.
right.
Okay. Rush, same address, down the hall. X-ray has a vendor number because that's how the payments were being processed by departments, right? Or by units within the department. Now we have a system that's not that intuitive. It says, no, I want to be selective. It has to be just one. And one can add many. But it can't be many at one time. So we have to look at that to see how can we add these different units, or if there can be a collaboration, because the payment process is actually right now remaining the same. Each unit is getting paid by the city individually, right?
Correct.
Each unit wants to go on to our iSupplier system and look at all their payments. Look at all their
Or
receipts.
submit
Or submit
bill,
invoices.
right.
Exactly. And right now, you can't do that. So we are going to find a workaround.
And then until it's fixed, we'll just continue to supply paper, even if the deadline gets. I mean, you
Yeah.
will still.
You won't
Take
have to be able to do the electronic process.
We will still be going the old way.
Yes.
Until then, we have access.
And speaking with finance, yes, your finance liaison.
Any other questions?
I wanted, hi, I'm LaToya Vaughn with the Budget Office, and we manage the cyber grants process. So I just wanted to see, how, of the folks that are here, how many are delegate agencies? Okay, nice. Okay, so if you guys are in the cyber grant system, you may have seen some alerts saying that e-procurement is coming and that we're going to be shutting down cyber grants. So that is true. We have not announced the actual date that we're going to deconvene the cyber grant system, but it will be in the coming months. So we want to make sure that you guys are comfortable with the process, and we do know that there are some outliers like Salvation Army and Rush, but agencies that don't have multiple site locations or larger agencies like that shouldn't have that many issues registering. So we encourage everybody to register using the iSupplier site. We also have our first RFP for a tobacco cessation program with the health department that is available in the e-procurement system. So if you have access into the system, we encourage folks, and and that program is relevant to your organization, we encourage you to apply for that RFP. If you don't have access, similar to Rush or Salvation Army at this time, please work with Pam to get access into the system, and then you'll be able to apply for your grants via e-procurement. But we will send more communication out to the delegate agencies, and we'll be offering training in community areas in July. So just keep a lookout for that, and we'll send an email blast, and we'll send communication through cyber grants. So that's coming soon. And I will say definitively before the end of this year, cyber grants will be decommissioned. So any information that you guys have in the system that you like to gain access to, we're going to be encouraging delegate agencies to export any information that you have. And we're also going to be securing that information through our typical data backup process. So if we have any requests or if you guys have any FOIAs or whatnot, we still will have access to that information. But we are encouraging you guys to be as proactive as possible. Go into the iSupplier site, register, go into e-procurement, and check out the new opportunities that are available. When Lucy showed those funding opportunities out there, the last option was the tobacco cessation program, and that closes on June 30th. But I am here to answer any specific delegate agency questions that you guys may have that are not related to the iSupplier, but that may be related to the e-procurement process.
Questions? Oh, here.
Separate from myself. Yes.
Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Under cyber grants, is that isolated to CDBG pass-through grants?
So cyber grants initially started with just the CDBG program, but it expanded to include other, we call them CDGA, or community development related programs that could include some corporate funded programs. So no, it's not only for the CDBG program.
Okay. So follow-up to that is that when cyber grants go away, then CDBG and the other pass-through that you just spoke of, whether it's corporate or Fed, is going to go into e-procurement.
Yes.
And the delegate agencies that are performing the work under those grants and others, will they be able to access the e-procurement system using a single vendor number?
So with the iSupply registration process, it requires one FIN number. So then my response will be yes. And I will say the good things, and I know Lucy already spoke to it, the good things about the e-procurement system, especially for our delegate agencies, because we ask for a lot of support and documentation for vouchering, it's not just that you can submit your invoices, but you can also submit your invoices for payment. I know in the Cyber Grant system, you guys have submitted your invoices to the department. In this case, it's going to incorporate an electronic workflow process where we don't have to export that information and take it to the Department of Finance. This is going to actually route it directly to the Department of Finance, which should expedite your payment process as long as you guys provide all the support and documentation that you need. So it's going to be fully electronic from the reviewing the actual RFP document to applying for that particular proposal to submitting invoices through reviewing those payments, payment invoices and deletions. So you should be able to see the entire process for your delegate agencies in our e-procurement system. And so we are working on updating the e-procurement site to include a delegate agency tab that explains the differences between the e-procurement process for vendors and the e-procurement process for our subrecipients, which are really called delegate agencies.
So all the information for the history of the contract is transferred also with e-procurement or also?
Yeah, so in e-procurement, because you'll have a single FEIN number, you'll be able to track all of your previous contracts and previous payments for your delegate agency.
It sounds like you're going to be moving within a contract period from cyber grants into iSupplier. With that, will that information within the contract period still be there?
So, yeah,
how does that work? Because it's calendar year for at least 2 of our POs that I know.
Mm-hmm. So the cyber grant system is a third-party external system, and so the reason I say that is because all of our financial transactions actually happen in FMPS. So the e-procurement system, and I say FMPS, it's really the Oracle system. So because e-procurement is Oracle-based, you'll see your entire contracts from 2009, for example. What CyberGrants does is it's pretty much like a front-end system that we use to capture the initial application. But the contract, the PO, the releases, or requisitions, all that actually happens in our Oracle system anyway. So you will have access to all the historic information, whether or not it's toggling between two program years.
So for payments currently, we go to the city of Chicago type payments for the vendor too. I know that they haven't been updated in a while, so all of that information will now be here with payments history and everything else also.
Yes, and you should be able to access, and that'll be, so her question was basically, can she see all of her billing, invoice payment history in the e-procurement system? And I should say, not e-procurement, I should say iSupplier. It's going to be an iSupplier, and we use e-procurement kind of synonymous with iSupplier. So iSupplier is just a portal of the e-procurement system, so yes, you will be able to see that. And she wanted to just make sure that the distinction was that it's going to be outside of our typical City of Chicago payment site. This one is going to be directly in the iSupplier portal.
Can I speak to what Walter said? We've learned, or this is not my area, but sitting in the meetings and when we're speaking on payment processing, if your concern is that you're on the city site and looking at payments and you're saying that it hasn't been updated lately because something should have occurred, then you need to speak to your using department because the using department is not passing the receipts off to controllers. Okay?
And one more point to that. So you guys will be able to see your specific information in the iSupplier, but for the general public who may want to look for general information for FOIA purposes or just for general purposes, they will still go to the City of Chicago's website for all general information. But you guys will be able to see your specific agency's details in your iSupplier site. So that's the thank you. Differentiate. I was like, oh, that was not right. So if you got, it's the difference between the two. So if you guys have any delegate agency questions, you can contact our office. It is the obmgmu@cityofchicago.org. And we're also in the process of updating the Department of Procurement Services website under the e-procurement section to include a delegate agency portal. that'll just give you additional information into our delegate process. To be honest, it's not too different from what Lucy already showed you. Like, if you guys want to look at the RFP proposals, you go to the same site. If you guys want to pull up a copy of it, you go to the same section. But our questions are going to be program specific for that particular grant program, similar to what we have in the cyber grant system.
Okay, so repeat that address again.
It's going to be the OBM GMU at cityofchicago.org.
Can we contact you for questions about e-procurement, suppliers?
Yeah, good point. Great point. So DPS typically handles, not typically, DPS is responsible for all the registration process. So Pam does that process, and I know she's going to give you guys her card. But you can also access that eProc support, and those go directly to Pam. So she's the best contact for any iSupplier questions or issues. But if you guys have any questions or issues concerning the delegate agency application process as it relates to the e-procurement system, then you'll contact the OBM GMU website, or you can contact me. I should give you my information also, because we manage the OBM site. And it's Latoya, LATOYA, .Vaughn, VAUGHN, at cityofchicago.org. So if you go to the OBM GMU site, that site is managed by multiple people, or that email is managed by multiple people, so you'll get a quicker response. But if you have any direct questions or specific questions or follow-ups, I typically will respond to you, and I'll CC myself in the email. But it'll be a response from the OBM GMU email. So my final words regarding delegate agencies is to register as soon as you can. Make sure that you take a look at the e-procurement website for opportunities frequently for vendors and delegate agency contracts. If you have any questions, contact or email us at the OBM GMU. And like I said, we are going to be doing a community training from July through, I believe, December. And so we'll send those email blasts through the Cyber Grant system and Cyber Grant's email addresses. GMU, I'm sorry. So you can expect some updates coming soon, but make sure you let all of your staff know that Cyber Grants will be decommissioned. The anticipated date is August 1st, but we do not have that as a definitive date, but I do want to let you guys know that it is going to be coming soon, and it is definitely going to be before December 1st.
So, August 1st is really quick. So, will people be set up? I'm just concerned about the timing.
Yes. So we've been doing a lot of blasts in Cyber Grants, I believe, since March, I believe. So we just keep pushing the communication. This one is going to be a little bit more aggressive starting the July schedule. And like I said, August is something that we have tentatively internally tried to get towards. But because this is a new system, we're asking for everybody's patience in the process. So don't panic.
I'm concerned about the person who does the actual invoicing, that this training didn't cover that.
Oh, no. So we're going to do specific, good point. So we're going to do specific community training starting in July. So we're going to send some communications out, and each department is going to be aware of when those trainings are going to be. And so we're going to do our best to do as best of communication to our delegates as possible. So we definitely want to make sure that you guys receive all the training that you need as it relates to iSupplier registration, e-procurement proposals, and vouchering.
In terms of the training, crossing over from Cyber Grants into e-procurement, we have 2 units of ours that operate under those systems. Okay, and the one who I know is going to be the most problematic is not in the room today.
Okay. So
how are you going about communicating directly with them because they have to have the purchase order?
So good question, or good point that I'm about to make regarding that question. So in Cyber Grants, we are basing our communication using the information that we have in the system as it relates to email addresses. So if you guys have any outdated personnel or new people that you'd like to have access, you need to just kind of manage your internal registrations to make sure that those folks are updated, because that's the communication that we're going to be sent, or that's how we're going to communicate to those specific individuals. And then we also will do a dashboard notifications via CyberGrants. And I'm not sure if you've seen that, but we've been blasting those dashboard communications for a couple months now, just trying to get you guys in preparation for it. And that's in addition to the notifications that you guys have received from DPS regarding the invitations that were sent out prior. So we're going to do our best to make sure that you guys are trained throughout the entire process. And then, like I said, we're going to be doing trainings through December. So. And if you have any specific needs, we can train you as needed, just depending on your agency's size or specific areas of need.
Any other questions? Okay, that will conclude the workshop for e-procurement overview for the delegate agencies. And as LaToya mentioned, there will be specific training for you. This was just a generic overview of e-procurement and iSupplier. And that, as mentioned, she'll be sending out relatively soon. Thank you for attending the workshop, and look out for those. Sign up for DPS alerts.
If you haven't signed up, can you do so before you leave? And also your evaluations, if you can put them on the table back there, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you once again, and have a great afternoon.
Ours is very simple.